There's been a lot of talk about the NBA product not being as enjoyable because of all the three-point attempts. From a player's perspective, do you feel the same way? And what should the NBA do to make the game more appealing to fans who think it's not great?
Well, they can't complain about it now. I mean, analytics kind of took over the game being played from, like, coaches want three-pointers or they want to lay up or get to the free throw line. Like, you know, they might be one guy on the team that they allow to shoot mid-ranges or play in post or play in the mid-range area. You don't really see that too much in offense because everybody wants to shoot threes and get up as many threes because the analytics says threes obviously are more than twos, and the more threes you make, the better chances you have of scoring more points. I actually seen, I think it was on like ESPN or something, where they showed teams going back and forth and they kept missing and missing and missing and missing, shooting, just clanking up threes.
Yeah.
That did look bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like that did not look entertaining. It's the new NBA, man. It's the new NBA. I mean, I don't, other than, you know, it's got to be more of a coaching change of how they do their offense, I think, more than anything, to bring more excitement and not so much of an emphasis to chuck threes up.
It's an interesting thing. You know, I was even watching the NBA Cup game the other day, and someone tweeted like 10 minutes before the game, and they showed the fans or the stadium and how many empty seats there were. And it has been a weird thing. And again, this isn't a shot at the Clippers, but the first NBA game I went to this year, there wasn't a lot of fans. And then it just seems like it's applying towards not just the Clippers, but the whole entire league. There's a lot of different philosophies, P, on why the NBA is not doing as well. And I know you just said that it's a product of how the game is played. And I know that I don't want to get political here, but do you think that there is anything else outside of just the way it's being played, whether from a business side of it or maybe a political side of it? There's a lot of different arguments on why the NBA isn't doing as well. There's got to be more to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of everything. I think with how the style of play has been, I think rightfully so, there's been a lot of stars that have been injured and been hurt. And so they aren't, available every night. Myself being in that, haven't been healthy some games or needed a game to get completely healthy. So I think that's an aspect of it. And, fans are just, a lot of them are old school fans. They're used to how the NBA was. And so, I think that has a lot to do with it. And then when you look at like a kid that loves a certain star and then like they're not going to go play, and it's like, all right, well, there's no point of me going to the game. So I think, and then it's, I think back then it was a lot more of, the rivalry stuff. I don't think there's that big of rivalries anymore that it's like must see. I have to go and watch this game because it's going to be entertaining and intense. So I think some of that might have something to do with it.
They got to figure it out, man.
They got to figure it out.
They will too. I have confidence that they will.
Absolutely.
I have confidence that the NBA, it's a big brand, big business.
You can argue of, eras that played harder, more physical, more, aggressive, more defensive minded. You can argue that there was many other eras of that, but I think this era, we are definitely probably the most skilled.
That's easy.
Now we just got to add the extra elements into that because we got the most skill. We can still be entertaining, but we got to add the extra elements to it.
I think these young kids nowadays is coming in too athletic than back then, like the different eras, like say your era or whatever, meaning you had a few that come in like real athletic, strong, but now these kids is coming in like young, big, and with talent that you never even seen. Like when Fish was telling us how Kobe came in just as a man knowing moves and stuff. I think they just going off of all these kids with this speed and stuff, like saying, damn, they got all this speed and all this talent. Let's add all this other stuff up in there and see if they do it. And people who don't like it and want to do it, then they don't got to do it. But I just think they just going off of these kids with all this talent that they coming in the NBA these days. It's not like it used to at all. So that's
I Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day too. Like, and there's a lot of good young talent. But I think, when I first came into the league, the locker room was full of vets, right? The locker room was full of established guys. And that's what the league was. The league was full of established guys. You might have one guy break that, because he was ready to play. He was talented enough, and coach thought he was ready. So he'll be sprinkled into that lineup, or he'll be sprinkled into that game. But for the most part, it was veteran guys. I think now the NBA has kind of shifted to where it might be 2 or 3 veteran guys on the floor, but the rest is like younger guys. Like, younger guys are playing a lot sooner than they used to play when I first came in the league, and even way earlier than before that. So times are just changing, man. It's just the league is changing, the game is changing, times is changing. And there's nothing that you can really, I think, pinpoint, but right. I do think these have somewhat of an effect of how the game is going now, for sure.
At least they try. I can at least say that. At least they tried new things.
For sure. For sure.
PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 5 million members across the country, it is the most fun and exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and players.
You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need a win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed.
Whether you think Jordan Addison will continue to get more targets or Josh Allen passing totals will be a little light this week, PrizePicks has you covered on every option.
So guys, make sure you go download the app today and use our promo code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. So you can finish the football season by downloading the app today and using our promo code PODCASTP to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.